episode 17 of the BRASH Sports Podcast, brought to you by The Flu. That's right, we're back, baby. After a 2-year hiatus to make way for people to get sick from COVID, and only from COVID, The Flu is making its triumphant return to the main stage. You could even say it's going viral. They're playing all the hits: fever, chills, fatigue, head and body aches. Interested in getting the flu? Just head down to the local Chuck E. Cheese, library, or any other child-filled establishments today. Be sure to use promo code BRASH60 to save 50%. The Flu. It's fun for the whole family. Well, Brandon, the Flu was nice enough to send me a free sample, and I took full advantage last week. Still slightly recovering. You can hear it a little bit in my voice. It was super fun. It's an introvert's dream to get the flu and just stay away from people for a week.
We did go on a slight hiatus there.
Little hiatus. Put me down for a bit. I was in no condition to record, but I'm back. I'm feeling good, feeling feisty. First beers in a while because of the flu. So it's a spicy night. I'm ready to get after it. We got a lot to cover too, because we missed all that time. We got to double up on some stuff. Lot to get into.
We went from having no pick'em pandemonium to now just having to jam pack everything into one episode. So we're going to do the best we can to make sure this is not a 2.5 hour long episode. So we got to roll through because we got to really dive deep into the archives here, Josh.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, let's not waste any more time with this silly little banter going back and forth. Let's just dive right into the run through. We're going all the way back to Thanksgiving, right?
We got to do the Week 12 run through, and that did start with our Thanksgiving slate. So let's take a little, let's turn the page and open up our BRASH Sports Almanac to find out exactly, to remind everybody what happened, because it seems like it was forever ago at this point. It was
at least 6 months ago was Thanksgiving, right?
And things kicked off with the Buffalo Bills getting the win in Detroit. The Detroit Lions, they made it interesting. It was a 28-25 final, and the Lions, they blew it. A huge opportunity to take the game into overtime. But the Bills drove 48 yards in 21 seconds. They put Bass in position to kick the game-winning field goal. It was a 45-yarder, not a gimme. But it's the Buffalo Bills, so you kind of felt like it was going to happen. Bills now at 8-3. Lions' 3-game winning streak has come to an end. Lions are now at 4-7. What are you going to do? I mean,
what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Detroit?
You expect it from the Lions. I the second they gave the ball back to the Bills, even though there were only 21 seconds left, I said to myself, that's too much time for Josh Allen and co.
Exactly.
So they got the job done as well they should have. Dallas Cowboys, they got the win over the Giants, 28-20. The Giants led 13-7 at halftime, but the Cowboys outscored the Giants 21-7 in the second. And Cowboys ran for a team total of 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was really the running game that got them the victory here. Dallas has now won 4 of their last 5. They sit at 8-3. The Giants have lost 3 of their last 4, and they've fallen to 7-4, but it doesn't really feel like much of a fall because 7-4 is pretty good going into week 13.
Yeah, it's certainly not bad. It's honestly better than I thought we'd be, but the way we've been losing has been really discouraging, and the first half played out exactly how we said it would in the playoffs. Dallas feeling big for their britches. Giants just got fucking whooped on. So then it was like, oh, this is how it's going to play out. Cowboys are going to undervalue Giants. Giants are going to go in saying, hey, we've got this huge chip on our shoulder. And they were playing so good. That second half, Dallas made the right adjustments. Giants just looked like they took their foot off the gas. I don't really know a better way to describe it. We just low energy, not creative with the play calling, very predictable. Saquon, another bad week. So I don't know what's going to happen with him because our offensive line is banged up, and you can't pay a running back premium dollars if he needs a good O-line in order to do good things. So I don't know what's going to happen with Saquon after the season. I know we're jumping ahead a bit, but I don't know. I'm concerned. I don't like what I'm seeing with the Giants, and it has me concerned that we could be going from like a 7-2 team to missing the playoffs, and that would be heartbreaking for your boy. So we're just gonna have to hang in there and hopefully get healthy and string some wins together. But right now, it's ugly. We're playing ugly football.
Watching the Cowboys win, of course, always makes me angry. But then watching them with the touchdown celebration, using that Salvation Army,
Yeah, dude, so
pot
dumb.
and the whack-a-mole, that really rubbed me the wrong way. And I could only imagine what it felt like as a Giants fan. So
Well, I was also on my deathbed Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was like the
that's true.
worst
You
day of
you were
the
not
flu
feeling
for
good.
me.
Yeah.
I was feeling like at my worst as the Giants were getting their asses kicked. It sucked. It was not good. But you live to fight another day. You live to fight another day, and here we are. We made it.
So I picked the Bills. They won by a hair.
Yep.
I picked the Giants. They lost,
Yep.
and this was the beginning of the end for my pick'em week. It was the worst pick'em week I've ever had. The Minnesota Vikings, they got the win against New England. I picked the Patriots. They hung in there, but they lost 33-26. They blew it in the fourth quarter. They were leading going into the fourth quarter, 26-23, but they only converted 2 first downs in that final quarter. And Kirk Cousins had a hell of a day, man. You got to give it to him. 30 of 37, 299 yards, 3 TDs, only a single pick. And Justin Jefferson was, Justin Jefferson, 9 receptions,
Yep.
139 yards, 1 touchdown. So, now the Vikings decide to show up when I pick against them. So that's the recipe.
I had the Vikings here. I don't trust New England's offense to keep up with anybody who has a decent offense. So I actually had that one right. Speaking of pick'ems, of course, we didn't do a pandemonium when I had another phenomenal week.
The best
I
way
went,
you gained a lot of ground. Well,
yeah,
you're so far ahead of me now. There's no chance of me catching up at
I,
this point.
I'm officially in the top 1,000 of ESPN, top
Wow.
1,000 people.
Wow. Take a
So
picture.
yeah, I might screenshot it
Yep.
and just hold on to that forever. Maybe print it out, get it laminated, turn it into a necklace, and wear it around everywhere I go. So yeah, big pick'em week for me. That this is the only time I'll mention it because we're trying to get through these. But not to brag, I got almost every single one of these right.
Unbelievable, man. Well, I don't care too much about a bad pick'em week if the Redskins and my fantasy teams do good, and that was the case this past week. So it wasn't a complete disaster. The Washington Commanders got the win at home against the Atlanta Falcons, 19-13. It was 15 years to the day when they played after the Sean Taylor tragedy. And it was the Skins D that came and saved the day in the end. It looked like it was going to be just one of those, God damn it, we let it slip away again. The third time we try to remember Sean Taylor and we lose the fucking game. But Mariota, he threw an interception at the Redskins 4-yard line, and that was following a Daron Payne tip. He actually put his left arm up, and he tipped it, and we got the pick. And that sealed it pretty much. I mean, Atlanta still had a chance to get possession back with just a little over 30 seconds left, but their linebacker, whose name I dread, or I don't know how to pronounce this, but I'm gonna try. Ogundehai. He ran into the punter and Tressway, and that ended the game. That gave us a 15-yard penalty, first down, game over. Take a knee, Commanders, because they've now won 6 out of their last 7. They're now 7-5, and the Falcons, they're at 5-7. That was a must-win for the Atlanta Falcons. So they're now falling out of that wild card opportunity in the NFC. You watched a little of this, and you
Watched
were probably
a little
stunned.
bit. I did have Washington to win this one. The thing I want to comment on more than anything in this game is what are the Redskins doing with their Sean Taylor commemorations, man? What is that mannequin with the
If I gotta
mismatched
hear about
pants
this
and
one more
jersey?
fucking time, okay?
Well, I'm sorry, dude. We haven't talked
Nobody
about it yet, and it's
nobody gives a
terrible.
shit about Sean Taylor except for Redskins fans. But then the second they want to do something for him, then all of a sudden the rest of the NFL fans want to come out and say, "Hey, what are you
You're,
doing?" It's like nobody else them, and then when they want to do something, they say we didn't do enough. It's like, okay, they put a Redskins jersey and helmet over a metal mannequin. The idea of that, in my opinion, is that that's something that they can bring with them to the new stadium, hopefully under new ownership, whenever that day comes, when they can leave the pathetic excuse for a stadium that is FedEx Field. And when they do move, they could eventually put a stadium out, or a statue rather, out front of the new stadium. So it doesn't bother Redskins fans. It didn't bother Sean Taylor's family. It was a moment to enjoy the legacy that was short-term legacy of Sean Taylor, and remember the best player that ever existed in the burgundy and gold in my lifetime, even though he had the shortest stint of most of the players that I get to watch. So I mean, again, this was something that bothered everybody but Redskins fans. So I
I
mean,
don't. I think there
kind
were
of a
some Redskins
non-story.
fans. I think there were some Redskins fans that were annoyed by it. It was just the small details. He never wore a Nike
It's
jersey. They
people
threw a Nike
it's
jersey
people
on him.
shitting on the Redskins. It's what they do. I get it. We are the punching bag of the NFL. So I completely understand. I'm used to it. And
The
our
attention
ownership
to detail was pretty
our
bad,
our ownership is the worst ever, by the way.
for
So
sure.
if there's something that's lackluster or missed, surprise, surprise. I mean, Dan Snyder, he didn't do it, by the way, to remember Sean Taylor. He did it to try to sell tickets. He did it to try to get some butts in the seats. I wish it were the goodness of his heart, but the man has a heart of fucking coal, so he's not capable of doing something out of the goodness of his heart. But
Fair enough.
I still wasn't as bothered by it as much as everybody else was. So moving right along, the Cleveland Browns, they got a big upset over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 23-17. I told you I was thinking about picking the fucking Browns as my
I was
underdog,
too. I
and
was
I
too.
didn't. I didn't do it.
Well, they're banned.
They drove yeah, that's true. The Browns are banned. They drove 46 yards in 6 plays in their final drive. Of course, in the fourth quarter, it ended with an amazing one-handed catch by their tight end David. Is it Njoku?
Njoku. That was an
And
unbelievable
it was a
catch.
beautiful catch, and that brought the game to OT. Both teams punted on their first possession, but the Buccaneers, they punted it twice, and that was one too many. They gave Cleveland a chance to win. They drove 71 yards down the field, and it was Nick Chubb, surprise, surprise, who got the game-winning touchdown, and he finished the day with 26 carries, 116 yards, one score. That score, well, yeah, that was the score. And the Bucs now fall to 5-6. Giants and Redskins fans like seeing the Bucs lose because they're fighting for that wild card spot. Browns now move to 4-7. Season's over, but hey, again, feisty Cleveland Browns, man, never count them out.
They're the weirdest team in the NFL, man. Them and the Saints. You never know. They're gonna show up some weeks and lay an egg. They're gonna show up some weeks and look great. They're so unpredictable. You just kind of go, all right. I'm not gonna, you know, put a lot of money on them or anything. I'm not gonna. I'd hate to be a Browns fan because you never know who's gonna show up on the field for you're rooting for, but they're a weird one, man. I don't know. That roster looks like they could be great, and then they have weeks where they just lay an egg. So good for them. I needed them to win this also because I've got that bet on the Panthers to win the division. That is still alive, by the way. Panthers to win the division, still alive, and that will make me very happy if they hit because it is a long shot bet when I put it in. So keeping me alive. Thank
Good win.
you, Browns.
Good win for the Browns. Good win for Jacoby Brissett. His reward, by the way, is now sitting on the bench. So they kept a nice spot on
For
the bench for him.
for a
Way to
rapist.
go. Way to go, Jacoby. You're being benched for, well, not a rapist, but a sexual predator.
Sexual predator.
Definitely
Sorry.
a sexual predator. A pervert who likes to expose himself in massage parlors. That's what he likes to do. So
We also don't know that he hasn't raped.
Okay. We're gonna go down that
That's
dark road, you know. I mean,
Guilty until proven innocent on this show.
yeah. Okay. Well, Robert Kraft. Cincinnati Bengals, they got the win over the Tennessee Titans 20-16. It was the T. Higgins show. He got the go-ahead touchdown from 27 yards, of course, from my boy Joe Burrow. That capped a 6-play, 75-yard drive, and that was Tennessee. Tennessee following. Oh, the following drive. Excuse me. The following drive of this one. This was actually interesting. The Tennessee drive following this lasted 7 minutes and 35 seconds, and they only got a field goal out of it. And then Cincinnati gets the ball back with over 7 minutes to go, and they never gave the ball back. They were able to roll the fucking clock out and say, bye-bye, thank you, Tennessee, for the dub. Higgins finished the day with 7 catches, 114 yards, 1 touchdown. That go-ahead touchdown. The Bengals and Titans are now sitting at 7-4. I still like the Titans' chances, though, in the AFC.
Yeah, Bengals, I had them in my power rankings last week. I won't give away where they are this week, but they're coming. They are coming. They are a tough team to beat. And once they get healthy, man, watch out. They're going to make a playoff run, and nobody's going to want to play them in the AFC.
Nobody's going to want to play the Titans or the Bengals.
That's true.
In my opinion.
I totally agree. The Titans are very underrated.
Dolphins completely rout the Texans in Miami 30-15. Tua was benched later in the game to give Skylar Thompson some reps. Why not? You know, you're whooping so much ass. The Dolphins are the least talked about 8-3 team in NFL history. And Houston, they're gunning for that number 1 draft pick. So, hey, go Houston, get that number 1 pick. Find your quarterback of the future.
Yeah, they benched Davis Webb, correct? Like they need a guy.
Davis Mills.
Or Davis Mills, sorry. Davis Webb was a backup for the Giants.
I don't think Davis Mills was really that terrible either, in my opinion.
No, I don't think so. It sucks when the entire team around you is
scapegoat.
Trash. Yeah, but they're gonna go try and find a quarterback, I think they should. And yeah, Miami, they are legit. They are legit. You might be right. They might be the most underrated 8-3 team ever, but they're another team nobody wants to face. Best 1-2 punch at wide receiver in the NFL. Tua continues to just not fuck it up, which is all he has to do.
That's it.
And yeah, they're like the 49ers on the East Coast, just creative play calling, really smart decisions on that team, underrated defense. They've got a pass rush now. The AFC playoffs is going to be really, really fun to watch because I have no idea how it's going to shake out.
Dolphins say, welcome to Miami, me on Miami. And that was it. That was the end of it. You don't know. The New York Jets, they got the win over the Bears. This was my upset pick going astray. I didn't know, by the way, the Jets won 31-10 over the Bears. I picked the Bears because I thought Justin Fields was going to play. I didn't know until game day that he was out with an injury. So shame on me for missing the boat on that one. But Mike White, I knew he was back, and I knew he was either going to have a stellar game or a shit show. And he did. He had an A++, 22-28, 315 yards, 3 scores, no interceptions. Zach Wilson experiment officially has come to an end in New York. No questions asked. I'm sorry. We will not see him start another game unless, Mike the White gets injured or something. But the Jets have they moved to 7-4. They're going to make the playoffs, dude. We can't deny these New York Jets this year. Bears fall to 3-9. They might as well just keep Fields on the bench and start tanking. Get that draft pick, boys.
Yeah, I agree. We've seen enough from Justin Fields to know that he is their guy. They don't need anything else to prove. Keep him on the bench. get a solid draft pick, revamp that defensive line, get some help on the O-line. And the Jets, that defense is the story to me, man. That defense is so underrated, so good. Sauce Gardner is the best cornerback that I've seen have a rookie year in a long time. I mean, he does it week after week, just shutting down wide receivers. I'm interested to see this week him going up against Justin Jefferson. We'll see if he shuts Justin Jefferson down. I'm fucking all in on Sauce Gardner. Also, maybe the best name of any defensive player in the NFL. So, with all that said, yes, the Jets are going to need consistent quarterback play, but that defense is going to help them out tremendously because I think they are wildly underrated.
Jets defense is underrated. They are very good, but it's a lot easier against Trevor Siemian than it would have been against Justin
Yeah.
Fields. They would have had their hands full.
Of course. Yeah.
Carolina Panthers, they beat the Broncos 23-10. You called this on our last episode before you fell ill. You said you were already making the pick. You were picking the Panthers. My dumbass on the worst pick'ems week I've ever had. For the last time, I picked the fucking Broncos.
What
Can't
were you
believe
thinking?
it. They are so bad, they're not even worthy being talked about at this point.
Nope.
Denver is a fucking joke. But we will mention Deontay Foreman, who finished the day with 24 carries, 113 yards, and DJ Moore with 4 receptions, 103 yards, and a score. So, hey, hats off to the Carolina Panthers and Sam Darnold getting the dub.
Dude, Sam fucking Darnold. To me, this game just proved how awful Baker Mayfield is. Because it's apparent that the Panthers have a good defense. I've been saying it all year. They've got good running back, great number 1 wide receiver. They just couldn't get anything done with Baker Mayfield. And PJ Walker's getting him wins. Sam Darnold comes in and gets him a win. I mean, Denver's defense is still good, and Sam Darnold had a good day. So you got to just wonder if we're ever going to see Baker Mayfield again. I don't think so. I think we've seen enough of that guy. He's done forever. And yeah, Carolina, God, it's a shame that they can't get any more offensive help for this team because, Denver is just so bad. They're not going to be able to get away with that with most teams. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I hope PJ Walker comes back because he's legit. But good for Sam Darnold, man. Coming off the bench as a third stringer and just getting that dub. Good for him.
Next time you see Baker Mayfield, it will be for ESPN College Game Day.
Yeah.
The next time you see Russell Wilson, if he looks like complete dog shit next week, don't be surprised if Nathaniel can't hack it, has to make the decision to bench him just to show that his defense, that he's trying to win a fucking game. I mean, Russell Wilson is a fucking joke this year. I mean, I'm sorry.
It's really bad.
Man, the most overpaid player in the NFL right now, next to Carson Wentz, maybe.
Oh, dude. Russell Wilson by a mile.
Yeah,
it is because he signed an outrageous contract and he has played so poorly. In fact, Carson Wentz has more touchdowns than Russ. They showed that stat. Carson Wentz hasn't played since week 6.
Wow.
And he has more touchdowns than Russell Wilson. So
I guess
enough said.
Wentz is there in spirit, I suppose. But Jacksonville Jaguars, they pull the upset over the Baltimore Ravens, 28-27. I knew to stay away from this one because I always am weary of these Jacksonville Jaguars. But they showed some fucking balls, man. They went for a 2-point conversion with 14 seconds remaining. And Justin Tucker, he had a chance to kick a game-winning field goal, but it was a 67-yarder. But it came crazy close. If you look at the highlight, it looked like that's in, but it fell short.
I thought it was in. As soon as it left his foot, I thought it was in.
That would have been an NFL record, I'm sure. Yes. That ball would have been sent to Canton had he made it. But Ravens are now 7-4. Jags on the other side are at 4-7. But Ravens, 7-4 is really good, but you better get your shit together, because I've always been really confused about these Ravens, man. Like, what team are they? No team has blown more double-digit leads this year than the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think everyone keeps talking about Odell to the Giants, Odell to the Cowboys. I don't know why Baltimore's not in the mix. They need a number one wide receiver more than any other team potentially. And they have a legit shot to make a run in the playoffs, and they can't get it done with the playmakers they have right now. Lamar Jackson is fighting for his life every single week, and that their defense can't get it done. Their running game isn't what it was, and they have no wide receivers. So I don't know what's going to happen, but they're not going to make deep runs playing like they've been playing. So Jacksonville, this was one of the few games that I missed this past week, and I almost picked Jacksonville just on a hunch. But I thought Baltimore at home, they're just going to find a way to get it done, and they didn't. And I'm really nervous about them because I picked them to win the East, and right now it's clear to me that, or I'm sorry, the North, it's clear to me that the Bengals are the best team in that division, and Bengals are going to win that division if Baltimore doesn't turn it around quick.
Well, again, I just once again, way to go, Jaguars. I mean, because had they kicked
Yes.
that extra point and brought it to overtime, they probably would have lost that game. So, sometimes you just got to show your fans and your
Yeah.
team that you are out there to win the goddamn game. Speaking of which, the LA Chargers, they also laid their nuts on the table. They converted a two-pointer with 15 seconds remaining against the Arizona Cardinals, winning 25-24. Justin Herbert, he had a great showing. He finished the day 35 of 47 attempts, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Cardinals absolutely suck, and now they're 4-8. Chargers are still in the hunt at 6-5. So Chargers need to keep winning, but I absolutely think they'll sneak into that wild card spot.
Yeah, they're going to get one of them. They're so talented top to bottom. They've got a stellar quarterback. They're getting healthy. Um, yeah, they shouldn't have to beat Arizona on a 2-point conversion, right? They are that much better than Arizona, but it's tough to go on the road anywhere. So I'm still hopeful that the Chargers kind of prove me right, and Justin Herbert continues to play well. These are the games that I was expecting him to have all season long. So we'll see how it plays out. But I definitely think that they're going to be a playoff team, and they're another team that you really just don't want to play in the AFC.
No, they're dangerous, and you never know what you're going to get out of those Chargers, man. And sometimes you never know what you're going to get out of the Seattle Seahawks. And in this case, they got a big old loss against the Las Vegas Raiders. You saw this one coming. This is chalk this up as another Josh special. The Raiders get the win 40-34 in the absolute game of the week. I'm envious I didn't get to sit down and really enjoy this one through and through, but really it was Josh fucking Jacobs who had a career day. 33 carries, 229 rushing yards, 6 catches for 74 receiving yards, a total of 303 yards altogether, 2 touchdowns. The Raiders get back-to-back wins for the first time this season. They sit at 4-7. The season's over, but the Raiders fans got to be feeling good that they have a guy like Josh Jacobs on the roster. And the Hawks now have lost their last 2 and sit at 6-5. Again, Giants and Commanders fans need the Hawks to lose. So we're okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't think that this game was going to go the way that it did. I did pick the Raiders. Yes, they were in our parlay as my underdog, but no one could have seen Josh Jacobs putting up 300 all-purpose yards. That's stupid. That's a stupid number. So good for him. Good for them. And yeah, Seattle, man, they need to figure it out. Or I don't know if teams are figuring them out, or if they are struggling because they don't have the firepower they need. Gino's not playing as well as he did first half of the season. I don't know, but I love that they're losing because, yeah, at this point, the Giants need everybody else in the NFC to keep losing to keep pace with them. So I'm good with it.
Yep. The speaking of the NFC West, the defending champion LA Rams. There I go again, calling them the defending champs when they certainly are anything but. They lose 26-10. Now, it was to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs get an easy win at home. They should have won this one. Stafford and Kupp likely out for the remainder of the season because the Rams are at 3-8. There's no reason for them to come back at this point. And is there a chance, Josh, that we'll see the Rams draft a quarterback in the first round of the 2023 NFL draft?
I certainly think they should, right? Even if he doesn't start next year, to get a year behind a seasoned veteran like Matt Stafford would be awesome for any young quarterback. And Stafford's getting on in years. He's clearly not as bought in as he was last year. I think this whole team is just tremendously hungover from the Super Bowl win. To me, it's clear as day. And yeah, it's never an easy week when you face the Chiefs, who I think are the best team in the league by a mile, but they really just look anemic, and they look like any team could go out and push them around, which is not what the Rams were built on last year. They were the team doing the pushing. Now other teams are just pushing them around like they are a little bitch on the playground at school. So I don't know what you do if you're the Rams, but I definitely think drafting a quarterback would not be a bad option. Sit him for a year behind Stafford, go through rebuilding. Sean McVay is still going to be a top 5 coach in the NFL, and you find a guy that works in that system, I think they can get back on top relatively easy.
Absolutely. No. But it all begins next season.
Yeah.
This year's a wash.
This year's a wash.
Tank it at this point.
And
then let's start again in 2023. The San Francisco 49ers, they shut out New Orleans for the first time. The Saints have been shut out since 2001, 13-0. Granted, it was in the home of the 49ers, which I'll always call Candlestick. It's Levi Stadium or whatever the fuck. Is it Levi or...
It is Levi Stadium, but yeah, it's Candlestick, always.
It's Candlestick. The 49ers defense was absolutely stellar, but their offense, still some questions there. They only managed to put up 13 points at home. That's a little weird, but nonetheless, the Niners have now won 4 straight, sitting at 7-4. Saints season is all but it's over. It's over at 4-8, even though they're in one of the shittier divisions, the shittiest maybe in the NFL. Sorry, but they'll keep fighting those Saints, but they're fighting for nothing because 9-8 ain't gonna make it to the playoffs this year. Sorry.
Well, in that division, it absolutely could, but I just don't see the Saints getting there.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that division is going to be won by either.
That's true. They're all going to keep losing. What am I talking about? Yeah.
It's going to be a 9-8 or an 8-9 team that wins that division, but it's not going to be the same.
They're not going to win out. They're not going to win out.
Saints defense, man, they're very good. They are very, very good. Their offense is just riddled with question marks. I don't even know where to begin. They are a Kamara or bust. If you shut down Alvin Kamara, you basically can do whatever you want with that team. And the Niners, not super impressive, but when you get a shutdown or a shutout, you can always hang your hat on that. They're playing a good defense. Only putting up 13 points, not ideal, but a lot of that was situational, right? They didn't have to score a ton. So a lot of it was clock management, all those things. Not worried about the 49ers, and certainly think that the Saints are out of it for this year. Even though they're still technically not. They're still technically in the hunt because that division is so bad.
Top team in the NFC, they got another victory on Sunday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers, 40-33. The Packers played maybe their best all-around game yet this season, but still come up short. As long as Jalen Hurts is on the field, the Philadelphia Eagles have a chance to beat anybody, I swear. I mean, this Jalen Hurts guy is for real. I wasn't taking him seriously before, but he's legit, and he's really
It's
hard to
time.
stop. He can just
Time
do
to
whatever
take
he
him
wants.
seriously.
He's accurate with his throws. He runs, really fast, and he's really good at just knowing, the opportune times to run and when to pass. I mean, he's a smart fucking quarterback. The Eagles are now 10-1. Packers are now sitting at 4-8. Again, should they sit Rodgers for the rest of the season? Of course, you and I would say yes. Don't bring him back into this mess. And plus, Jordan Love, he didn't look terrible when he relieved him, right?
No, he looked really good. I was surprised at how well he played.
And then, of course, my boy Christian Watson, he helped me win my money league. So thank you for that. But yeah, if I were the Packers brass, I would certainly just sit Rodgers down. And again, you're trying to convince him to come back because there's a chance he might just be done with football overall at this point. But
he's gonna retire.
Still
really good about that.
40-33, though, still really close against a not so good Packers team. Even though they're 10-1, I think they're the weakest 10-1 team we've ever seen, man. I don't think they're that intimidating. I think, if people do their homework, they could learn how to beat this Philadelphia Eagles team. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose their first playoff game this year.
Yeah, I mean, so they're going to get the bye, and then they're going to have to face a good team, right? A team that's coming off of a playoff win, which it's never easy to do, right? Teams fight for a bye. Teams fight for a bye all year long, and then the bye never really seems to help them because they lose all the momentum from the regular season. But yeah, what I think teams are figuring out is that defense. That defense had people on their heels the first half of the season. Now teams are putting up points against them, and they're having to win these 40-33 shootouts. And it's not a really sustainable way to keep getting wins. So I think they are definitely very, very easy to figure out. And more teams are going to take advantage of that defense that we thought was top tier, that I think it's starting to show its true colors as more middle of the road.
What's not sustainable is having a quarterback that has to run all over the place. I'm telling you.
That too.
I'm telling you. I've seen it firsthand. That shit don't last. It all comes to an end at some point, and it's very sad when it does. Monday Night Football, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got the win over the Indianapolis Colts. I'm guessing you went with the Steelers in this one, seeing as how you had an awesome pick'em week. They won 24-17. Indy tried to rally back after trailing 16-3 at halftime, but it was too little too late. Matt Ryan, man, maybe it's just me, but he looked absolutely fucking terrible in this one. It just wasn't, Matt Ryan's one of those guys. Are you going to get good Matt Ryan or bad Matt Ryan? It was bad Matt Ryan, in my opinion, for the majority of the game. Overall, a meaningless game. Neither of these teams are going to the playoffs, so we can move right along if you want to.
Yeah, no, I mean, Pittsburgh's defense is legit. That's all I'll say. With TJ Watt.
With TJ Watt, yes.
That defense is legit. Matt Ryan was running for his life, and that's not pretty because that guy's ancient and was never a very good runner to begin with. So, yes, I had Pittsburgh. Yes, I bet Pittsburgh. Yes, I made money on Pittsburgh.
Nice.
Thank you.
Right on.
Thank you, Pittsburgh.
There you go. All right. Well, there's one more to recap because, again, we have a lot to catch up on, man. We are late getting to it here. Bust out the BRASH Sports Almanac once again. Thursday night football recap. The Bills get yet another win. This one, a divisional win against the New England Patriots in Foxborough. They won 24-10. Again, after a terrible week, I did call this game perfectly. Exactly how I predicted it. It happened. I said pick the Bills, with the 4 points. I said pick the under of 44 or 43 and a half, whatever it was at the time. And that's exactly what happened. The Bills controlled the entire game. Josh Allen appears to be back. Finished the day with 22 out of 33, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. finished the day with a 90.2 QBR, and the Bills are now back on top in the AFC East at 9-3, and the Pats now fall back to 500 at 6-6.
Yeah, you definitely predicted this one perfect when we talked Thursday before the game. I thought it was going to be a much closer game. I liked New England with the points because I thought it was going to be a more of a field goal type game. With that said, I still took Buffalo in the pick'ems, as you can see right there.
Yep.
There's the old record. There's the old top 1,000.
Unbelievable.
Just for proof, just so people don't think I'm blowing smoke.
I'm 11 games behind you.
Oof. Like
there's no catching up at this point. That's over.
We'll see, man.
It's over.
We'll see. But yes, I liked Buffalo, but I really thought New England would hang tough. I thought their defense would show up. I thought their running game would stuff it down Buffalo's throat. They couldn't get anything going on the ground. That you can't rely on Mac Jones to win you games. That's not going to work. So Josh Allen's playing a lot better. I think his injury issues are starting to subsist. I think that their defense is getting a lot better. They took a few weeks off. They looked tremendous last night. And New England, you need an offensive coordinator and you need a quarterback. Sorry to say it, but it is what it is. Take my advice. I know more than Bill Belichick, and
you've always been a much better head coach than Bill Belichick.
Yeah, it's true. My credentials speak for themselves, Bill. Give me a call if you ever need some advice.
Send an email with your resume.
Attached
at brashsports.com.
Still looking for someone to fill in our finance department. But yeah, dude, New England is really struggling right now. I don't know what's going on with that team. That's another one where up and down any given week, who knows what team is going to show up. So good for the Bills. They look like they're back. They look like they could be cracking a top 5 power ranking. That's how back they look.
The Bills are back, and my power rankings haven't changed after all of that. The power rankings for Brandon have remained the same. I still have the Chiefs at number 1, the Eagles at number 2, the Dolphins at number 3, the Bills sitting at number 4, and the 49ers at that 5 spot. Nothing's changed after all of that madness.
Well. I got to let you in on something, Brandon.
Uh-oh.
Mine haven't changed either.
I
still have the exact. Bills are 5A though. Mine are Chiefs, and the Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers, Dolphins, Bengals. My exact same list as last week. Bills are still on the outside looking in because I do think if they played any of those 5 teams, they would be in trouble. But they are on the up and up. They are very close to cracking in. So if any of those teams lose, I could see the Bills slithering in there.
I still think the Bills have a better home field advantage, and they have a better secondary than Cincinnati, but that's just me.
Okay.
We'll see. We're going to get to see that game. So
we are going to get to see that game. And this week's going to be huge proving ground for Cincinnati going up against Kansas City. But let's not jump into that just yet, because we are going to get into pick'ems right around the corner. So I don't want to spoil anything too quickly here.
We're getting into pick'ems right now is what we're going to do. We're rolling right through. It's time to get through our NFL Week 13 pick'ems after a terrible Week 12. I need to completely bounce back. I need a perfect week this week, Josh. So that's what I'm going. I'm going for a clean slate. It's the only chance I have to gain any ground against you at this point. So we got to kick things off with the game of all games, the one we and all of Brash Nation have been waiting for. The Washington Commanders finally going toe-to-toe, tit-for-tat against the New York Football Giants. It's amazing we've had to wait as long as we have.
It is crazy.
I can't remember the last time our first game was in December. But here we are, and of course, it's a must-win, really, for both of us. I mean, and it's so evenly matched. Commanders at 7-5, The Giants at 7-4. Commanders 4-2 away. Giants 4-2 at home. Now the only thing, I think it's helping us a little bit is, we've won 6 of our last 7. You guys, you've lost 3 of your last 4. But again, throw all that shit really out the window when it comes to a divisional matchup. We know how this goes. And a win, of course, would put Commanders in a very commanding position to get that wild card spot. Just quick trivia for you, Josh. When was the last time the Washington Redskins franchise was 8-5 ever in their history?
2016.
1996 is the answer. Gus Frerotte and Norv Turner. And that was a season in which they started 7-2. So, then they, of course, plummeted and, eventually found their way to an 8-5 spot. But
was that the year Frerotte banged his head on the thing and broke his neck?
Maybe. I thought that was later. I think that was later, but still. 8-5 was just a weird record, and I had to look it up because I'm like, I don't remember us ever being 8-5. If they beat the Giants on Sunday in the Meadowlands, they will be 8-5. And 1996, Josh, that's a long time ago, all right? So I think it's time. They break that curse. I think it's time they get to 8-5 for the first time since 1996. I'm giving the Commanders the win, and yes, it's 100% a pick from the heart because as we talked about before, there's no way I could logically convince anybody one way or the other for either of these teams. I would just tell people stay as far away from this game for all betting purposes as you possibly can. Skins are surprisingly favored by 2.5 points. The over-under is at 40.5. I would pick the over by just a hair, because I think Vegas wants everybody to pick the under, because when you look at it, you're like, of course it's going to be the under. No.
Yeah.
We're looking at like 42 points being scored in this one overall, and, the 2.5, I mean, no, I would even stay away from that, dude. I mean, I'm giving the Commanders the edge, but it'll be by a point or 2 points. It's going to come down to the goddamn wire. My blood pressure will be at an all-time high, and I know you're picking the Giants. Of course, you have to.
Yeah, I'm picking the Giants, but again, it's with my heart, not my head. I do think this is going to be a back-and-forth, very close game. These
ground
teams,
and pound, yeah.
Ground and pound. They always play each other close. I think Daniel Jones has a good game, especially on the ground. I don't think Redskins are preparing for what he can do as a rusher of
That's
the
true.
football.
Mariota showed that.
Yep. And so I think that might give us an edge. We've got the home field advantage, which is nice. We also need a win. I mean, my God,
at home,
we are the hungry dog in this fight. And so I like that about us, but I'm not betting this game. I'm staying far away. Over, under, spread, money line, not touching a fucking thing. This could be a Redskins blowout. It could be a Giants blowout. It could be a close game. I have no idea how it's going to play out. But of course, I'm picking the Giants. It would be a really sad day if I pick the Redskins in this spot. So I got to pick the Giants. I got to stand with my boys. And I think that it's going to be a coin flip type game. So if nothing else, 50-50 shot we win this thing, right?
Oh, dude. That needless to say, spoiler alert, this is not making our weekend parlay.
No.
Just for fun, I'm going to say 22-20 Commanders.
Ooh, okay. I would say like 17-14 Giants.
Okay. All right.
Low scoring.
Again, you could say anything.
I could say, yeah, 57-55.
Just throw it out there. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we got that out of the way. I figured we might as well kick things off with that because I kind of figured, you'd go the blue, I'd go the red, but it's going to be fun, irregardless, as some people like to say. So we're going to be texting and talking back and forth. It'll
No
be a
doubt.
good one on Sunday. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are headed to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Pittsburgh currently favored by 1 point. The over-under on that one is at 42. I would probably stay away from the over-under on this one, but I am going with Atlanta to get the win at home. Not a whole lot of breakdown there.
Yeah, I've got Atlanta as well. I think Pittsburgh's defense did look very, very good, but I think Atlanta, again, you've just got a hungry dog. They've got something more to play for than the Steelers. I think it's going to show. I think Atlanta's a little bit of a better team, so I've got Atlanta getting the win, but I will be rooting against them actively.
You're right. Falcons still fighting for that wild card spot, so
fighting for the division, man. That division is still up for grabs.
Yeah, of course they're still fighting for the division. Yes. So, all right, we both are in agreement with the Falcons getting the win at home against the Steelers. Let's go to one of the oldest rivalries in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers headed to Chicago to take on the 3-9 Bears. Packers are currently favored by 3 points. The over-under at 44.5. This one, man, even with Justin Fields, I went back and forth. I really don't know, and I don't believe we'll see Aaron Rodgers. I think we will see Jordan Love start and finish this game. And I'm going with the Packers. I think this is Jordan Love's time to shine. He's going to show that he can be starting quarterback. Finally gets the opportunity. And who better than the Chicago Bears to get his first dub? Go Jordan Love. Get the win in Chicago in Soldier Field against your rival.
Tell you what, Brandon. You're going to need to start picking against me if you want to catch up, because I got the Packers as well.
No!
I know. I went back and forth too, though. This was not an easy pick. But your reasoning is exactly where I came to also. Jordan Love needs to prove himself. I think that they're a little bit of a better team. They're finding their groove offensively, which is nice. I think it's a high-scoring game. And I think the Packers have... Just edge them out, just by a cunt hair. Maybe win by 2 to 3 points.
All right, all right. We both got the Packers. Let's go to the Jacksonville Jaguars headed to Detroit. Detroit coming off that heartbreaking Thanksgiving loss. The Jacksonville Jaguars coming off of that big upset over the Baltimore Ravens in Charm City. I mean, nothing's going to stop the Jaguars now, except for the Detroit Lions. I got the Lions getting the win at home against the Jaguars.
Same. I've got the Lions as well. I think that the Lions are feisty at home. I think the Jaguars, having to go on the road back-to-back weeks, as tough as it is, but having an emotional victory like that in Baltimore and then going on the road again, not going to be easy to do. I think Detroit takes advantage. And I think Detroit wins fairly convincingly. I know Jacksonville's favored by a point right now, but I would take Detroit all day long. Detroit money line, probably like 105, 110. Take them. I like them.
Over under on that one is currently at 51 over all day.
Yeah,
that's going to be a fucking over. Both teams are scoring 30 or more. It's happening. Yeah, and sure. Trevor Lawrence is going to put up some fucking numbers. If you have him on your fantasy, have a little fun. The New York Jets, they're headed to Minnesota, take on the Vikings. Vikings currently favored by 3. Over under on that one is at 44.5. Jets are at 7-4, 4-1 away from home, surprisingly. But the Vikings are at 9-2, and they are 5-1 in Purple Town. Give me the Vikings getting to 10-2. Yeah, Purple Town. You
Purple
like that?
Town? Is that what they call it? That's what
I know. That sounds racist. That's racist. Somebody's gonna say you can't say Purple Town. That's racist. No.
We're gonna get letters for that one.
The Vikings.
We are gonna get letters for that one.
That's
No,
racist.
I like
The
the Vikings. I like the Vikings here as well. I don't know how many words this is. I was gonna say something cool like 2 words, but 4 words. Kirk Cousins at home with the sun shining. He just doesn't miss. So Kirk Cousins.
Well, he proved he can play just as good with the sun. It looks like the curse of the sun is past.
The curse might be broken. You're right, but
the Kirk
you
Cousins
have to admit,
curse of the sun is past.
He is rock solid in that 1:00 Eastern time slot at home. I like Vikings big in this game.
Tennessee Titans are going to the city of brotherly love here, my friend. I mean, this is an interesting one. The Titans are currently at 7-4. They're 4-2 away. Of course, the Eagles, as we mentioned before, best record in the NFL at 10-1, 5-1 at home. Philly's favored by 4.5. The over/under at 44. I mean, this one, to me, this was a tough one. And basically, I settled on this. I settled on the Titans defense scheming the fuck out of the Philadelphia Eagles, getting the win in a low-scoring affair. Give me the under of 44, and give me the Titans giving the Eagles their second loss of the season and their second loss at home in front of their home crowd.
You know, I like the under in this game as well. I do like the Titans defense, but I like the Eagles offense a little bit more. I think the Eagles find a way to edge out a close game. The Titans, to me, are just one-dimensional until they can get a solid pass game going. You just have to stop Derrick Henry. Easier said than done, I know, but I think the Eagles are talented enough to overcome whatever points Tennessee's putting on the board. I think the Eagles only need to score 20 points to win here. I think it's like a 20-17 type game. So I like the Eagles here, but it's I went back and forth. I could go either way on this game, but give me the Eagles in a straight up pick 'em. Hard to pick against them at home. And the Titans just, I don't think, have enough firepower. So Eagles win a close game.
All right, we finally differ. The Broncos headed to Baltimore. Let's break this one. Let's take 30 minutes to break this one down.
Yeah.
Ravens. Okay, moving on.
If you pick the Broncos, you're a fucking idiot.
Now, just Ravens favored by 8. Was it 8.5 or 6.5? 8.5.
8.5. Lay the points.
I mean, Ravens always shoot themselves in the foot. For that reason, I would not fucks with those points. And 39.5 as the over under. I'm going under. I would go under on that. I think it's going to be another ugly, low scoring game. But the Broncos suck. They're so bad.
The Broncos are so bad.
So bad. So, yeah.
The only way the over hits is if the Ravens put up 35 points. Because the Broncos are good for 6 to 10 points.
I think the Broncos defense is legit, and I think they're gonna want to make a case to get Russell Wilson out of there. Dude, I'm telling you, we could see Russell Wilson get benched in Baltimore in this game. Wow. You heard it here.
I would love to see it because he needs it. That little fuck.
Overpaid fuck.
Fucking overpaid fuck. That I was. Again, I'm so mad here because I was so high on the Broncos.
I wasn't. That was the one thing I got right. One of my bold predictions.
Oh, just listen to the Dramatic Piano episode. Mm-hmm. Go back deep into the files, deep into the archives. Listen to me talk about the Broncos long before the season started.
The only thing I got right was the Broncos being bad. That's it.
It is so embarrassing when I go back and look at how high I was on the Broncos and to see how bad they are. It has made me resent them to no end. So fuck the Broncos. I think they lose by 17 points. I think it's like a
Ooh.
27-17 or 27-10 type game.
All right.
And maybe 27-9. I don't think the Broncos get a touchdown. I think they get 3 field goals.
How about a 17-0?
Sure. 17-0.
Put it up there. Why not?
Put it up there.
That covers the under. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The best of the worst. The Cleveland Browns headed to Houston. Of course, the schedulers, they knew we got to make sure that Deshaun Watson's return is in Houston against his former team, the team that drafted him with all those hopes. You know, what's going to happen? Is Deshaun Watson going to come back to Houston and give the Browns a win after that dramatic victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I say no, absolutely not. The Texans get their second win of the season, their first win at home against Deshaun Watson. Fuck Deshaun Watson, that weird sexual predator who, you know, likes to flash his dick to people at the massage parlor. What kind of psycho are you? Give me the Texans getting a win in a very ugly game.
See, that last part you said, I totally agree with. Ugly game.
And the fucking Browns are favored by 7. And, you know, over-unders at 47.5, dude. No. You know, give me the Texans and under.
Texans plus the points and the under. Very safe bets. I totally agree. In the pick'ems, however, I'm going to give the edge to the Browns because of that. Because of the run game, I think that the Texans are just not going to be able to stop. I'm going to chub it up. I'm going to chub up the win to the Browns.
Won't be the first time Deshaun chubbed it up, you know.
That's
his go-to. That's his go-to.
It's his go-to move is to chub it up a little bit, flash that thing out. He's gonna have a victory massage on Sunday. I'm calling it now.
He's going back to all his old spots.
All of his old spots in Houston. He might hit a few of them.
It's old flashing grounds, as he calls them.
But I do like the Browns, but I think it's a very low-scoring, ugly game. I give him the edge because of Nick Chubb and nothing else.
We're differing there. Okay, well. All right, well, then that's 2 so far. Let's move to our 4 o'clock games. The Seattle Seahawks headed to L.A. to take on the Rams. Seahawks at 6-5. Rams at 3-8. We talked about this earlier. Rams are just a complete joke right now. No reason to put Stafford back out there. Seahawks favored by 7. Over-under at 41. I love the points for the Seahawks. I love the over. Give me the Seahawks all day to make a statement against these Rams and beat the living shit out of them. Wow. Gino, baby.
I think it'll be a little closer than you're thinking, but I could still see it being like a 10-point Seattle win. The Rams are just anemic. They can't get anything done. Seattle needs a win. They know they need a win. The Rams aren't playing for anything. Seattle is. Give me Seattle. That's, to me, one of the easier picks of the week.
Ooh, now we get into the real nitty gritty right here. The
Miami coming up.
The least talked about 8-3 team in NFL history, the Miami Dolphins, going to face maybe the hottest team in the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers at 7-4. 49ers favored by 4. I don't understand that spread. That's a bit heavy. Again, Dolphins are getting no fucking respect. Over under at 46.5. I wanted any reason to pick the Dolphins here, dude. And I so hope that, Jeff Wilson Jr. just goes back to the team that let him go and fucking tears it down and the Dolphins win. But I couldn't do it. I think this 49ers defense is awesome, especially at home. And it's going to be a very, very entertaining, close game. I hope it's on my local television because I want to be able to see this one, but I'm going with the 49ers getting the win at home, their 5th win in a row.
Wow, I'm surprised. I thought you'd be all over the
I wanted
Dolphins
to.
here.
I want to pick the Dolphins. I just couldn't do it.
I-
Again, I need this. I need to have a good pick'em week, Josh, after a really bad week.
I was very close to picking the Dolphins. I mean, very close. But if this game's in Miami, I'm picking the Dolphins all day.
Yes.
I think it's the home field advantage of the Niners.
Yeah.
I think 4 points, you're right, is too many. I love the Dolphins +4 because it feels like the winner of this game is going to kick a field goal with the time expiring on the clock, right?
And over 46.5 too. Over.
Yep, I do think it's a track meet, man. It's a track meet. The stars are on display. I mean, when was the last time we saw a game with this many offensive weapons on the field? CMC, Debo, Ayuk for the 49ers, and then you got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle for the... Dude, so much just speed and just elusiveness, and it's going to be such a fun game. I hope it's on local TV here too. I will jump off of the Red Zone channel to watch this game. It is going to be that good. But yeah, Niners, that little edge because they're at home, I will take them to have the ball at the end of the game because that's really what I think it's going to boil down to.
All right, the next 4 o'clock game, 4:25 Eastern Time, and 3:25 if you live in Tennessee. The Kansas City Chiefs headed to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Another must-watch game. Mahomes versus Burrow. Chiefs currently favored by 2. Over under at 53. Over all day. And again, I want any reason to pick the Bengals. I want to pick the Bengals. I love Joe Burrow, but I can't pick against these Chiefs right now, dude. Every time I do, they just make me look like a fool. So I have to go with the Chiefs and my pick'ems in order to stay face. But I do want the Bengals to win. But I think in the end, Chiefs will pull it out.
I want the Bengals. Give me the Bengals here. I love the Bengals in this spot. This, to me, has upset written all over it. The Bengals are playing great ball. They're at home. They've got the Chiefs' number. They beat them twice last year. They figured out the Chiefs. So I really love the Bengals in this spot. Another close game, track meet, shootout, tremendous game. We're getting spoiled this weekend because we have game of the year potential in both of these games, but I think the Bengals edge them out. I think they've got the Chiefs' number, and I think that they're ready to prove something. They're ready to put their dick on the table and say, we are here in the AFC. Nobody wants to play us. We are the class of the North. We went to the Super Bowl last year. We are back this year. Bengals. I like the Bengals this week.
All right, well, let's try to speed through these last 3 so we can get to our parlay here. Because, let's be honest. The Dolphins, 49ers, the Chiefs, Bengals. I mean, those are the
games of the week for sure.
That's it. I mean, that's where the money is made right there.
Yeah.
The Chargers going to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Raiders currently favored by a point. Over under at 50.5. I like the Chargers. Just going to keep it short and sweet.
Same. I like the Chargers. Justin Herbert keeps it rolling.
Yep.
Enough said.
All right. Sunday Night Football on NBC. The Indianapolis Colts, they are going to Dallas. Can the Colts pull the upset in Dallas and spoil their party who I think they're the biggest underdog this week. Dallas currently favored by 10.5. No, Dallas win easy against the Colts.
If you're going to bet this game, I don't know what the line is, but bet the over on sacks. Matt Ryan is going to get sacked 15, 16 times maybe. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
So there's your bet. There's your bet of this game.
Monday night
over sacks.
Monday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints now headed to take on a divisional opponent in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And again, we talk about this division. It's anybody's game. The Saints are at 5-8. The Bucks at 5-6. Saints not that good away. They're only 1-4 away. Bucks at 500, 3-3 at home. You never know what to get out of Tom Brady and the Bucks. They're currently favored by 3.5. The over/under on that one is at 40.5. Again, this is one, I went back and forth on. I think I really ended up settling on the Bucks getting the win at home because they had that disappointing loss against the Browns. They're going to make a point to get the win, get back to 500 in front of their home crowd against a lackluster Saints team that nobody can rely on. I like the under in this one, and I wouldn't fucks with those points. So I think it will be a close one, but in the end, the Bucks get it done, and it'll probably be because of a last-minute Tom Brady drive that leads to a game-winning field goal.
There you go. No, I like that. I definitely think this is going to be a very close game. I think both teams are coming off of ugly bad losses.
That's true.
I like the Saints in this spot. I think the Saints pull it off. They got shut out last week. They're going to bounce back from that. And the Saints play the Bucs really, really tight, with or without Tom Brady. So, I don't know. Gut feeling. Give me the Saints.
So that's 4 games that we differ on. So I wouldn't really gain too much ground on you if I was able to knock all 4 of those out. But, hey, who cares? Gaining ground is gaining ground in the pick'em game. So let's.
What's your total? Real quick.
That's right. Let's see what I said here. I said 41 points.
No fucking way. 41. What the hell? That's crazy.
Isn't that back-to-back that we've done that?
Back-to-back that we've
41.
done that.
How do we pick on it? And the over-under's at 40.5.
That's so weird. I changed last time. You're changing this time.
Oh, fuck that. We don't have to change. We're not going to split. We're not going to split.
All right.
And plus, you get the edge because you have a bigger, win margin ahead of me right now. So that's the tiebreaker at this point. All right, let's get to our Week 13 parlay before we run out of time. Anderson's giving me the look on the other side of the glass.
He's ready to go home.
He's like, come on, guys, we got fucking things to do. It's a Friday night. Come on now. All right, so let's start off with our favorites, Josh. I'll kick things off with my overwhelming favorite. No chance the Denver Broncos get the win in Baltimore. Give me the Ravens getting the win at minus 420. A lucky number.
Yeah, Ravens are going to destroy. For mine, I've got the Cowboys minus 530 at home against the Colts. Again, Matt Ryan is going to get sacked at least 10 times.
That's
enough said. Don't need to elaborate. Cowboys.
Block those up. Those are definitely happening. The coin toss. Oh, man. My boy Eric isn't going to like this, but I'm doubling down. I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons getting the win at home against Pittsburgh at a minus 107. Solid coin toss.
Yeah, absolutely, man. When you're able to just get a money line for a home team when it's clearly could go either way, gotta like that. That. For my coin toss, I've got the Vikings minus 2.5 against the Jets. I think Mike White comes back down to earth. I think Kirk Cousins in the daylight, just loving life, feeling good, feeling the breeze. Vikings. And they don't need to cover more than a field goal. Come on. Vikings at home. Let's go.
And this is where we do it. This is where we finally knock out another parlay because it's been a while. I'm going with, here we go, the Houston Texans. They're plus 7 right now against the Browns at home. Give me the Texans to get their first win at home against the weirdo that is Deshaun Watson coming back, and they're going to spoil his party. Texans at plus 260 right now.
Love that pick. I almost went with them in the pick'ems. I love that pick. By the way, the Vikings minus 2.5 is minus 115 for those of you keeping track at home.
Everybody.
For my underdog, we just talked about them. I've got the Saints money line. They're so unpredictable, but that only plays into my favor. Why wouldn't they go into Tampa Bay and beat Tom Brady at home? Right? They will. They're gonna do it. They're plus 160. And I think that's Value Town, USA, population brash sports.
All right.
With those 6 picks, $1 per pick, $6 is tradition. We've got plus 4911 odds, $6 pays out $294.63.
Woo!
So the payout would be right at 300, which we desperately need.
Yeah.
We desperately need it. We got to get some artwork up behind me. We got shit to do.
I need a mic that like dangles like right here off of one of those arms,
Yeah, dude, we need boom arms.
I need some some awesome lights in the background.
I need a mic that will actually work.
Yeah, that too.
I'm sick of using this stupid fucking thing. But anyway,
welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger.
It's so true. I am out here fucking taking orders in a drive-through. It's not cool. I don't like it. So let's get our shit together. Let's win this parlay for the fans.
Let's win it for the fans, and let's win it for, more importantly, Josh, USA. USA.
Oh, that's right.
USA. 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 USA.
Let's fucking go!